What's up, Hobby Maniacs? Rob Bear here today with a look at the brand new Space Wolf releases for this week. First up, we have the starting collecting new starter kit box set kind of deal, which usually seems to be a great deal for everybody, and I can't wait to take a closer look at this. And of course, we have the Space Wolf Iron Priest, that new clan pack miniature, and the Billy Badass Ulrick the Slayer himself. But before we get into all that, we got to pay some bills. Please click on the link up in the top left of the screen to find out what we're doing over on Patreon and help keep our videos ad-free here on YouTube. Check out the blog, spikybitsblog.com, and head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. So getting back to the brand spanking new releases for the Space Wolves this week, which I guess we're hearing next week, we're going to be seeing some Orcs and some Tau re-releases, and then who knows after that, might be some Deathwatch, some really sweet new kind of boxed army kind of deal, but we're not 100% sure how that picture is lining up quite yet. But for today at least, we have some really cool Space Wolf stuff. So this is the Start Collecting box. Great starter set. There's an Orc one coming out next week as well. This comes with the Wolf Lord, which is really the Space Wolf Captain, or the Space Marine Captain model. You get a box of Grey Hunters and a box of Thunderwolf Cavalry. And what's cool about this deal is it's $114 MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price, but this box set is $85. So that means you save basically 20 bucks right off the bat, which is roughly, $20 of 114 is roughly 20% right off the bat. So if you're already getting this at a deal from an online retailer or your local game store, you can look to save, up to 30-40% in some regards off MSRP, which is a great deal. For veterans and new players alike, I feel. I am probably going to keep the Thunderwolves out of here, but the rest of it I'm probably going to send out to some of you Patreon supporters out there. So don't be surprised if you get somebody sees a sprue of Grey Hunters or the Space Marine Captains show up in their swag shipments for this month. I actually need these guys because I got to make Wolf Lord battle leaders for my my army there, because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the priests on. But anywho, enough about that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this actual kit here. Now, it's got the sweet slide-out tray that kind of lets you keep all your stuff together, boom, and then you see all the sprues. Now, we've covered these guys, the Grey Hunters, the Thunderwolves, back when they came out with the Turbogon back in 2013. I don't think we've ever shown the Space Marine Captain model because I believe it came out in 2005. So we'll kind of show you that. So you got your Space Wolf Grey Hunters right there, standard loadout. We've seen these guys a million times over the past, I don't even know, 8 years or so. And then the Thunderwolf sprues, which of course the standard Thunderwolf loadout. You get 3 self-contained Thunderwolves on each sprue, and then of course the one with the wreckage of the Thousand Suns guy, the wounded casualty guy right there. And then you get into the meat, and then a Space Wolf or the Space Marine Captain himself. And the Space Marine Captain is kind of interesting. This is an older one that was done by hand. It comes with a lot of cool weapons. We used to sell a lot of these when we did bits. Bits by the bit off the sprue. You get the combi weapons, which a lot of people are still looking for today. This really sweet Eagle backpack, some alternate heads, and some really cool shoulder pads, one of which is a Deathwatch shoulder pad. So there's that guy, a little blast from the past, so to speak. And then you get all the bases. They come with the 32 mil bases, boom, the extra one for the Captain, the 3 for the Thunderwolves. Which hopefully are in here somewhere. Oh yeah, there they are. And so there's 3 of those. And then you get all the instruction manuals and things. And we're not going to get too into that because it's super easy to put these guys together. So instruction manuals, good to go. Everybody's seen those. But what some of you folks probably haven't seen is 2 things out of this kit. One of which is this sweet new decal sheet here. So it looks like they're kind of going away from the old long sheet decal set. This is definitely a Space Wolf specific one. And granted, it's only, about 3 by 4 or maybe 4 by 4.5, or it could even be 4 square. This is kind of something new. We hadn't seen this before, so that's a neat little. You got some vehicle stuff, you got some squad markings for vehicles, and definitely all of these will go on the figures themselves. So that's pretty neat. And then the last little bit of new stuff here is the new formation that comes in all of these collector boxes. So this one here is actually pretty good. It allows you to take a Wolf Lord, a unit of Grey Hunters, or Thunderwolf Cavalry, which are all in this box. And remember, you can add more Thunderwolf Cavalry here. And what's really cool is, and a Wolf Lord is kind of vague too, you can technically take a Wolf Lord on a Thunderwolf mount to add to the squad. So that in and of itself isn't necessarily restricted to the actual models that came in this box. Now, the special rule is And remember, the difference between a special rule in a formation and a command benefit is that special rules do not confer to independent characters that join the squad. So you're restricted to just these guys that will benefit from this rule, whereas the command benefit is a little bit different, and dudes can join and come and go and kind of get those benefits as they see fit. So for glory for Russ, a Wolf Lord, and any units from the death pack that are within 12 inches of him at the start of your shooting phase can either shoot and reroll to hit rolls of 1, which is kind of cool, kind of like the chapter tactics for the Ultramarines, or run and be able to charge in the same turn. Different units can choose different options, so no one could run and charge while another could reroll hits of 1. So that's kind of really interesting, because you can combo that with some of the wolf chart, the Wolfen chart, that lets you on a 7+. There's a formation that lets everybody that's affected by the chart get 2 run moves. So you can get 2 run moves, you can get run and assault, and it starts getting all like super crazy. But even the Thunderwolf Cavalry moving 12, being able to run and then assault is still pretty powerful in and of itself. So really cool little formation. It's always nice to see these little bonuses Games Workshop doing for new players and veteran players alike. So it gives us both a reason to kind of pick up this box set. Now next up are the 2 new clan packs which came out, the Iron Priest and the Ulrick the Slayer. And what's really cool about these is the Iron Priest, I actually like. We'll do him first. So the Iron Priest himself, there you can kind of see the directions. So he is super multi-part. This guy is bananas cool. The only thing that I don't like is he only comes with 1 helmet. So he's stuck with 1 helmet, and I guess you could change the pistol out right here as well if you so desired. But what's really cool about this is that he's kind of the way you put them together, you actually could, and here's the actual, that's Ulrick. Here's the actual model itself. We're going to zoom in a little bit more to give you kind of a sense of scale here. You could actually assemble this so it rides a Thunderwolf Cavalry mount, because you don't have to assemble him at the waist onto the legs. So you've got the back and the front, and then once you put those together, you don't really have to attach it to the legs themselves. Now, it's a little bit hard to see here, it kind of looks like, just given how, maybe we won't use this grid in the future, we'll use a green one, it might be a little bit easier to see, but there you can kind of see where the legs attach, just like a normal multi-part Space Marine right there. So great looking model, highly detailed, the Thunder Hammer's dope, even the back servo bit is pretty dope. MSRP is $30 on this guy. He does come with the 32mm base included as well, and then you got Ulrick, which is, the next Billy Badass, the oldest quote-unquote living Space Wolf. I mean, I guess you could say, people take offense to how I say Bajorn, because apparently Bajorn is not how you say Bajorn. So I've come up with a compromise for everybody. In order for me to say the way it's supposed to, or I'm instructed to say it, I have to say Baby Bjorn. Baby Bjorn is the only way I can get my mouth to say not Bajorn. So if I say Baby Bjorn, I can get it out. So we're going to compromise here. So the oldest, unquote, I guess, not living Space Wolf is Baby Bjorn. Because he's sleeping. He's sleeping. Don't wake him up. Baby Bjorn's sleeping. So there's Ulrick, and you can kind of tell all the sweet stuff he's got going on. He isn't quite as multi-part. It's almost like they designed the Wolf Priest, or the Iron Priest, to be multi-part and be able to be posed on a Thunderwolf mount. So that's definitely a really interesting kind of foresight on Games Workshop's part that we haven't seen in the past. And this little guy is copyrighted 2016 as well, which is really interesting. Both of these guys are actually. So are they actually able to put out product this quick? And, only being the first week of February, I imagine these things were already in a warehouse like 2 weeks before. Did they actually design and implement and put these things out and get them to market within 2 weeks? I don't know. There's a whole thing called like just-in-time inventory and pricing and things, and that's all way above my head, because I don't work with a lot of vertically integrated company kind of stuff. But it's interesting to kind of I just fantasize about that. Games Workshop's able to do shit on the fly that quick, which, I mean, it's good for us, it's good for the hobby for sure, because who doesn't like new stuff? And if you can tell that your captive audience maybe isn't quite as captive anymore, you can throw out some crazy stuff here and there. That being said, I really enjoy how the differences between these two guys, how this guy is more multi-part and Ulrick really isn't, except for maybe his Crozius there. So here's the actual model itself, and then you can definitely tell it isn't very multi-part. It's, hey, you got these legs, and then the back and the front of his, where is it? The back and the front of his chest. His chest is more like a kind of like a split kind of deal. So he's got the tabard that goes over top of it, and then there's the little armor plate there. But it's it's pretty cool looking. He's got where he's holding the helmet. He's got his bearded head as well, and it's all separate. So if you wanted to switch it and make a different head, you most definitely could as well. Like you wanted to maybe take not attach his helmeted head here to his hand, you could do a different hand, and then you could do maybe a helmeted head of some other sort, maybe just a normal wolf helm or something like that. So really interesting stuff, and I think it definitely bodes well for Games Workshop as well, being able to option select and do all of these cool things on the fly here, so to speak, with putting out special characters, or even if it's a slow week, they could just crank out maybe some special characters or something like that here in the future. So that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know I kind of sidetracked there a little bit, but it's really exciting to see the kind of differences between these and kind of pick up on some of the business things and developmental things that Games Workshop might have going on over there in their studio. So all in all, I think it's a great time for the hobby, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.